We are live 364 days a year. What are we doing here?
If Dom turns at SummerSlam, I'm shaving my moustache off. I've told you, if that happens, it's going. My lip is cold because of a stupid bet that I made with YouTube.
Oh, good.
Wrestle's better than Daniel Bryan. Bryan Daniels. Better than Okada.
How do you not get fishy after Monday Night Raw?
What is going on, everybody? We are back once again with another edition of Wrestling Republic's daily broadcast. It is Tuesday, September the 16th. We've got a Monday Night Raw to break down for you. I'm fired up about it. I've got a sweet panel hanging out with me today on this fine Tuesday. It is my last day this week until Sunday, our 1000th episode, though, by the way. I do want to say that because, I mean, how cool is that? Come on, guys. What are the odds? 1,000 episodes from the way that this started, Christmas Eve 3 years ago. Absolutely crazy. But let me introduce this awesome Tuesday panel to you. First and foremost, I'm going to send it to somebody that's been on the show quite often of late, and that is my good friend Dez. I do apologize. I always have a Cowboy fan reference here, but I'm going to lay off. I'm going to lay off on this Tuesday. How are you, Dez?
I'm doing good. Yeah, that Cowboys game Sunday, man. A little breather. It was getting a little too close, but yeah, Monday Night Raw. Honestly, I thought it was a good show. I know some people were criticizing it, so I'm excited to break it down with you guys.
Absolutely, Dez. I'm stoked to have you, bud. And now, standing 6'5" tall, returning from Disney World, in some circles called Mickey's best pal, from North Carolina, the man they call Jordy and the Bank is back. Happy Tuesday, Jordy. How are you?
Man, I was not ready for that kind of intro, but I appreciate it. I appreciate the hell out of it. It's good to be back. It's been far too long. Listen, I've been having a good time. I have been living my best life out in Orlando. 2 weeks of absolute chaos with my wife and three of my best friends. So it was fantastic. Yeah, couldn't have asked for better. But honestly, I missed so much. Wrestling, but I'm pretty much caught up now. I watched Raw last night. I enjoyed Raw last night. It's good to be back. My man Cena was on the show. Some stuff happened with LA Knight, which I've been kind of begging for the longest time. So it's good to be back and to be able to talk about it. Yeah, it's good to be here with you two as well.
Absolutely, Jordy. It's good to have you back, no doubt. I mean, it had to be a little bit wild just flipping on your TV and being like, wait a minute, AJ Lee's back? No, I'm kidding. I know you were watching when you were away.
Yeah, I did not miss that. I did not miss that. Or the absolute telegraphs that WWE sent out prior to it happening to let us all know that it was in fact happening. So yeah, I was tuned in for that moment. Don't worry.
Absolutely. We've got Happy Tuesday WR crew from Fernando Zayas. We've got Andito Tehendito with finally made it to the live stream on time. Hi, everybody. What's going on? Thank you for joining us. No doubt about it. But let's get right into this Raw from last night. And let's talk about CM Punk, AJ Lee, Becky Lynch, and Seth Rollins. What I think is the most important storyline headed into WrestlePalooza. You know, we've had a lot of conjecture, a lot of talk about WrestlePalooza lately. Of course, we do have Brock and John Cena. You mentioned John Cena earlier, Jordy, but I do, in my mind, feel like this one is arguably the main event. I'm not sure it will be because of the fact that Brock and Cena are on the card. What we saw last night, of course, extending the rivalry, the work on the microphone between these four, all four, I think deserves applause. It's the best told story headed to Palooza. I'm going to go to you first, Jordy. Let's get right back into it. What did you think about everything you saw on last night's Monday Night Raw?
Yeah, no, this feud has been fantastic. I think everybody needed it. I think it's done wonders for Becky to really slide into that heel role because of the whole Becky Hogan narrative that was happening. She's just leaned into it in the best way that only Becky can, and it's been great. We've been saying for the longest time that we need Seth to get booed and the song, and we needed to change because everyone's going to keep cheering it. Turns out all he needed was Becky Lynch. Turns out all he needed was his wife to come in and help, and now Seth is getting booed as he should. They did still join in Monday Night Rollins, which I can't blame them for really. But they're now booing Seth appropriately, and AJ on the mic is just absolute fire, right? Like she got them chanting therapy last night. She got them chanting constipated. These fans will just chant any word that AJ Lee says. It's fantastic. And it's beautiful in the way that not only in the storyline, but you can see it happening in the ring. Punk is just out here, just happy watching AJ do a thing. He's not taking center stage. Like he said last night, he didn't use his theme. He let AJ use hers. It's not really about him, and he knows that. And it's just a great dynamic to see for people that are just so good at what they do in the dynamic, doing what they do best, and even to the point where the little fake that they did last night, where everybody was like, "Oh, Becky and Seth are turning on each other," and it turned out to be a plan. I was hoping that was the case. I was like, "No, come on, let's not start showing like cracks in the armor so early." And they didn't. It was all a ruse to make sure AJ was in the ring on a roll, and so Becky could take from behind and whack her in the back of the head in the way that Seth and Becky do, because they're calculated, they're the visionaries, right? Exactly.
100%. And I'm so with you. I think one of the best things with it, I mean, if you can get therapy over, you can get anything over AJ Lee at this point, right? Like
we respect it.
Yeah,
that's pretty unbelievable, honestly. And I mean that respectfully, right? I'm just saying, like, you made that point earlier about like anything she says, they're gonna chant.
Yeah,
I think it's funny you brought up the CM Punk and like how it's not about him and how excited he is. CM Punk, you almost never see like break character in any way. He like can't wipe the smile off his face watching AJ perform.
That smile's so real.
It's like so real. Like he's not working when it comes to that. Like that is genuinely genuine, for lack of a better way to put it, at least in my eyes. We've got some comments here really quickly. Christopher Leclerc with AJ Lee pins Becky Lynch on Saturday. We've also got Aunt You with What Up Crew? What's going on? Aunt You. Donnie DeSilva with that segment was so long and only the last 2 minutes were necessary. Ooh, Donnie. I think it was fun enough and there was enough star power that it was okay with me upon first watch. But I kind of do hear where you're coming from as far as like the meat of the promo or the segment was really the last 2 minutes. I think there's no debate on that, but I was sort of okay with it because I was just invested on like what's going to happen. But 100% get where you're coming from there. And then Andito Andito with Punk flexing how much more of a wife guy than Seth he is was hilarious. Yeah, I think we can all agree on that. It's funny. Although I think Seth kind of did that a little bit with Becky in the ring from the concourse in the Chicago segment. So it is kind of like a tit for tat there. As far
Seth
as
was also very funny when Becky said, what did Becky say? Like, "Oh, I'm the greatest women's wrestler of all time. I'm not the only one who says it." And Punk was like, "Nobody else says it." And then Seth was like, "I say it.
Absolutely.
I say it all the time." And
I say it all the time was so good.
Brilliant.
I say it all the time.
Yeah.
The timing of that was like absolutely delightful. Dez, obviously, I got to get your thoughts on all of this too and the rivalry. Do you maybe even have an early prediction headed to Palooza?
Yeah, I got a few. Jordy definitely touched upon a lot of good points. I feel like this was a really fun segment. The crowd in Springfield, man, they were cracking me up, right? Whether they're chanting constipated, chanting goose, or they're chanting no one likes you, and the way Seth and Becky responded to the crowd, I thought this was a lot of fun. I understand what Donnie's saying. It was kind of long, right? And I did feel that in a way because I'm like, wow, this is kind of dragging out. But I was having a fun time with it. So it was just one of those things where I just brushed off and I was like, hey, you know what? I'm entertained. And at the end of the day, wrestling is about being entertained, and I was sports entertained. I love the dynamic between all these four. Punk and AJ Lee walking out together was great because Becky and Seth, they had their different entrances, which I thought was really interesting. The fact that Punk and AJ Lee walked out together, it shows that they have more chemistry together. And the way Becky and Rollins were, even though it was a ruse, they were teasing where they're like, oh, like, why'd you do that? You know, like, we're supposed to be on the same side. Why are you putting me in danger? Which honestly makes me believe, I'm not going to lie, and this sounds really messed up, but I feel like Seth Rollins might curb stomp AJ Lee. I don't know. I just have that weird feeling, and I feel like maybe like Becky and Punk are going to get into it. Like something's going to happen, right? AJ, she slapped Seth. Becky slapped Punk so many times. I just feel like there's going to be some sort of mixed gender attack between both people. And maybe it doesn't happen because wrestling's PG, so I get it. But I feel like it's warranted in this situation.
I hear where you're coming from 100%. And I was going to, we had a comment here too. What do y'all think? The chances are we'll get some proper Punk versus Becky graps during the match. I agree with a lot of what you said, Dez, other than the one thing. I do not think we'll see any male on female offense.
That's fair.
I think we'll see a spot where maybe AJ gets Seth and Becky gets Punk at the same time. And it leads to sort of an encounter in the middle of the ring between the two women. But I don't see the idea of Seth stomping AJ Lee is a bit much. What I could see is some scenario maybe where he actually attempts to stomp AJ Lee and accidentally stomps his own wife.
That's better. I like that one, honestly.
That could work. I could see the WWE being like, okay. I could see that as a possibility because
that's fair.
I don't know. Even that is a bit much. I'm not sure.
RKO's the only thing that gets the past, apparently.
Yeah, you might see Punk. That's a good point. You might see Punk get Becky up for a GTS, but then slip out or saved by Seth. That's a good call. Too.
Yeah, that's fair.
I could easily see that. Right.
Right.
I could definitely see that.
I could see it too.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. Like that's a difficult one to navigate because also you think about things like Taya Valkyrie and John Morrison, Johnny, whatever promotion he's in, have put on amazing, right? They're married and have put on amazing matches against each other. Right. And so I don't have an issue with that because I'm a fan of all wrestling 100%. I just don't see the WWE on ESPN, especially on ESPN. That's kind of my one caveat.
That's
first ESPN show. You don't take that big of a risk.
Mickey Mouse.
This guy.
It's Mickey's show.
No,
not so fast, my friends. In the words of speaking of ESPN employees, Lee Corso, monster shout out. Not so fast, my friends. But I just don't see that on ESPN. Honest to goodness, if it was like just a regular show, not the debut on that platform, I would actually be more inclined to be like, why would they not break out something a little bit controversial like that? I just don't see it like, hey, we got this big new agreement. Let's have
our guy
AJ Lee.
who's had neck injuries.
Right. I don't know. It's just like I would never warrant it, but it's happening too frequently to the point where it's like,
I know what you mean.
The crowd would go ballistic for it.
Yeah.
I have no issue with it. 100%. Yeah, I agree that Donnie summed it up perfectly here. None of the women are afraid to take a spot from the guys. It's just bad optics. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's where, and I'm like on ESPN, that's that would be my only caveat at all when it comes to the idea of something like that. That's why I think we're more likely to see,
with somebody somewhat controversial.
True.
Yeah, maybe a man. Maybe when Becky's rock bottom, the man handle slam, right? And maybe AJ. I don't know. Maybe
could Becky attack Punk maybe, and then AJ gets annoyed.
That could be good too. You get like a sunset flip or something like that, like where she just jumps in because she's frustrated.
Maybe. I don't know. I just have that weird. Okay, maybe not the Seth part. We'll scratch that part. But I just feel like there's gonna be like some offense between.
No,
Becky
there
and
is gonna be something.
And if not, there's gonna be a moment where
Becky's proven she has no problem getting physical offensively against Punk. I mean, she's slapped him like 40 times.
Nobody
will
have an issue like in the ring. It's like you say, it's an optics thing. But whether it happens or not, there will be a moment. Will they? Won't they? Moment.
Oh yeah, you'll get one of those. Oh, this is exactly what I was going to.
Yeah, exactly. That's fair. Happen. Yeah.
Great minds think
alike. Which is sometimes better than the actual thing, right? Sometimes
true. That's true.
To just create that moment and build it to a point where maybe it would happen, but I still think for some reason, whatever it is, the RKO is the only.
Is it?
You're probably right.
I think nobody would complain if Rhea Ripley got RKO'd. I just don't think it'd happen. But
I mean, if we saw it happen to Nia Jax in the men's rumble.
True.
Yeah. I
Right.
just, So it's just for some reason that seems okay, but anything else seems a bit weird.
Yeah, it
That's
just seems
fair.
too
That's
much.
totally fair.
Wrestling logic.
Stomp's a little crazy too.
It is, but I feel like I don't know.
Wait, one more thing, Des, though, because we do need to move on. I got to
Yeah.
give time to. We have he may be Mickey's best pal, but he's John Cena's at least second best pal. And we've got Jordy in the building. And if we're going to talk about a John Cena promo, there's nobody better in the world to break this down. I've been waiting for a Tuesday like this, Jordy. So I'm just going to, the floor is yours. The floor is yours, Jordy. Talk to me about your actual childhood hero.
Yeah. It eats away at me every time I see him appear right now, because I know that we're down to single figures, and every time he picks up the mic, I never want him to put it down, and I never want him to have that moment. I mean, his promos always hit such a high point at the end, and he gets you so hyped up, and that is still happening to me. But at the moment, once that moment happens, there's also a realization that like he's walking back up the ramp now. That's another day at lost. And last night was definitely one of those, because what we got on SmackDown was a fantastic moment where he said goodbye to SmackDown, thanked for the moments that he got on SmackDown, and obviously said that he started there, and then Sammy came down and they had this banger of a match that obviously ended with Brock coming down. And I just kind of wish we got that last night. I just never want to see him appear right now without having a match at some point, because we're seeing now, like, obviously the heel run was a heel run, and he was wrestling in a completely different style, and that made people think he can't still go, and I just don't believe that. And I think that recently he's proved that he can still go. People like Sami Zayn saying that he can still go at the highest level, and I wish we could see more of it. But that being said, the promo was fantastic, as it always is. I'm not the most thrilled that and listen, I love the matches that Cena and Lesnar have had in the past. I'm not thrilled that he's coming up once again on his farewell tour, but it is what it is. And he demonstrated last night exactly what it is. Like, I know he said that he's not scared of Brock Lesnar, but he said he is scared of Brock Lesnar, but he's going to fight him anyway. And that is exactly it. Like, because of him, people like me, if I came to face with someone like Brock Lesnar, I'd be scared, but I'd be like, well, I'm not going to back down, because Cena doesn't back down. Like, hustle, loyalty, respect, never give up. And I get what he's doing, and he spun it in a great way. And I just hope that he wins. I hope that in this one last bout between these two, I really hope he wins, because I think if Cena beats Lesnar, Cena's at that position for this final leg of the tour where he can really put people over, because he's achieved Super Cena stardom and level again. And I think if he can do that, then anybody that is up and coming that we've wanted to see Cena put them over, but he's not really been in a position to.
Yeah.
I think if he does this, if he jumps over this hurdle, I think he's there. And this final leg of the tour can be a brilliant celebration, as well as a brilliant catalyst to propel some people forward.
I think, Jordy, you broke that
said.
down beautifully. And especially when it comes to Cena in the future, I still think that Dom Mysterio match in San Diego has to happen for the IC.
I agree.
It's the last stone unturned, but this is a really interesting comment here from Donnie. I really wanted Brock to show up last night and add some more layers for their match. Me too. And what I wanted him to do is
ripped his pants.
I wanted him to bring back up
Yeah.
not just the F5s he's delivered out of, not nowhere, but just on Cena. I wanted him to bring up 2014 and say he's going to do it again. Brock doesn't talk much, but just a simple, I'm going to do the same thing I did to you at SummerSlam in 14. I'm going to suplex you until you're dizzy. I'm going to absolutely squash you. That's the worst performance of your career. It's not. It's the most beautiful performance of John's career. But in storyline, say something. Give me that. I'm going to do that to you. And then that's how we can get the one last Super John, where he takes the beating this time, but he gets up off the canvas. A la Rocky, right?
Captain America style.
Something,
I could do
right?
this all day. Yeah,
yes. Yeah. Something like that, I would absolutely be delighted for. This is interesting. Donnie goes with he's standing on his prediction. Cena loses, and they run an injury angle, all upcoming Cena dates are canceled. He comes back before San Diego, works Brock in his last match. You never know. You never know. You never
If
know.
they cancel them dates, they will be up.
Yeah, cancel dates is a bit tough there. Speaking of things that aren't canceled, though, let me talk to you guys really quickly about this one. Let's talk about Barista Coffee for a second. Barista small batch organic coffee created through excellence, authenticity, and unforgettable moments. It's my good buddy Bo Hostler. It's his passion project when it comes to coffee. PGA Tour superstar. Head to barista.com. It's as good of organic coffee as you can get. If you've got a Keurig, you're doing 200-degree water through a plastic tube. You're getting microplastics. That's no good. You don't want that in your coffee in the morning. Head to Barista. You'll get fresh, quality coffee. And not only that, sweet merch too. Check that out. But also, while I'm asking you to do me some favors, do me one more and subscribe to our second channel, Wrestling Republic Undercard, for exclusive videos, clips, and more. That includes sold separately. That includes grappling for position. That includes all kinds of short form content. From the Daily Show, from the Wrestling Republic podcast, from multiple shows on our platform. Go and check that out. But let's keep today's show rolling. No doubt about it. This one's interesting. Bayley, and we've made the Mick Foley comparison on this show, so I'm just going to start with that. Let's not do a bunch of revisionist history here. We've already made the comparison. Are we going to get the faces of Bayley, a la faces of Foley? And it sure looks like it, because we got a very different Bayley last night. No doubt about it. Talk to me about this, Dez, because I think Bayley is fascinating. She is, to me, the most versatile of the four horsewomen. And she just continues to prove it.
Yeah, I agree. She's needed it, man. She's needed a character change for the longest time, and I feel like this is one that's really going to stick. You mentioned Mick Foley, and I feel like that's a really good comparison because she had the hugger character. Now she has the role model character, right? I wonder if she's going to have a third character that will be a mix of the hugger and the role model character. I was also telling my friend, like, I was watching Raw, and I was like, if this was a real life situation and I saw like Bayley doing that to me, I'd be terrified. Like, I'd be like really scared. I'd be like the way they sold it was really good. Like the way Lyra did it backstage, where she kind of didn't even know what to say. And I thought that was a really good response because you're up with a person that's like that. Like, what are you going to do? They hug you and then they call you an idiot. You're just like, sorry, glad you're back. I like that Bayley's back too. The only thing is, Bayley and Lyra, they have a good feud, but it's just kind of like, I'm interested to see what is Bayley going to do after Lyra, right? Because she's already faced Lyra. We already understand like what's going to happen. Some great matches, good stories, but I'm more curious about what is the end goal of this, right? Who is Bayley going to really go after? And that for me is the one where I'm trying to figure out. But this was really cool, and I wonder if it's going to be like a week-to-week basis where she's the hugger one week, then she's the role model, then she's a hugger, then she's a role model, that she like flips like every single night. I thought it'd be really interesting to see.
I could not agree with you more. I think that is the absolute route that needs to be taken for Bayley. And I think it's going to be one of the most beneficial things ever, because I think back on, and the Mick Foley comparisons, it has nothing to do with, I actually think Bayley is a better technician than Mick Foley is. I think they're equally great pro wrestlers. Mick Foley is one of my favorites of all time, by the way, so don't think I'm just trying to dog Mick Foley in any way. There are differences, but the similarity that I see is the range. And you look at what the Mankind character was when he was introduced in the 90s. Psychopath, Boiler Room Brawl with Undertaker, he was the scarier of the two characters.
Yeah.
He was so scary. Me as a 6-year-old rooted for the dead man. Wow. The equally scary Undertaker, like he's the normal guy.
Guy with no eyes.
In the purple boots.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the guy in the purple boots, I was like, well, he seems way more like we could hang out than Mankind.
Seemed a lot more sane than
he did.
Yeah, next thing you know, Mankind's wearing a button down and whipping out a sock puppet.
Yeah.
And still manages to be that great. Then you have Cactus Jack, then you have Dude Love and whatnot. Bayley evolution character-wise, we've had the hugger, we've had the role model, we've had Bailey dose straps, we've had leader of damage control Bailey, we've had all of that. This, I think, showing her range in that way is amazing, and I do think this is interesting. Donnie with, I think Bailey might end up being more like original Doink than Foley, switching personalities mid-match and post-match as opposed to distinct characters like Mick. I have no issue with that.
Possible.
I actually have no, almost like a schizophrenia type thing.
She did show signs yesterday because she helped out Lyra, hugged, and then she got upset at Lyra. So that is a possibility.
Yeah, just where it's not even like appearance to appearance, it's minute to minute.
Yeah, exactly.
I actually totally dig that. Jordy, I do want to get your thoughts on this though. What do you think about the character thing with Bailey? I think if anyone can pull it off, it is Bailey.
Hey, thumbs up from me. I think they've done a great job of it. And I think last night, everyone that was there, they got like a little glimpse of Hugger Bailey back for a second.
Yeah.
So like that was great. Like all the people in the front row got like a proper Hugger Bailey hug. So you're bringing back that for the people who kind of want to and maybe didn't get to experience that. But then like the shouting and then opening the door and it just being sat there, that changed it from being like a gimmick to like, all right, that's actually quite spooky. That kind of spooked me out a little bit. And I agree. I think Bailey is capable, more than capable of doing this, and it's something that we've not really seen done that much, right? And I also think that like let it run its course and let her do as much as she can with this, and then at one point set the Wyatts on her and see what happens there, because it's a Wyatt-esque type almost storyline to be losing yourself and we will help you come back to what you were. It's the type of thing without having the Wyatts there doing it to her, making her have all the flashbacks like they did to Cena in the Firefly Funhouse with what Bray did. And yeah, it's almost they're doing it but they're not present, but it's like it's that type of thing, right? It's a reflection of all the different version of yourselves and what are you now kind of thing.
100%. I mean, okay, this is a great comment here, by the way. DID, not schizophrenia, I think. Absolutely. I mean, dissociative disorder. Yeah, it makes sense. Schizophrenia, out of ignorance, neither things are something to make fun of, but I just mean, as far as the multiple personality aspect, something of that nature from a storytelling standpoint. Mm-hmm. This is really interesting from Donnie. I just realized who she targets after Lyra, AJ Lee.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
That would be electric. Crazy on crazy crime.
Yeah.
Right?
I think as well, I come to think of it, what about, have you seen the film Split with James?
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I go down that route, right? But for a while, make it look like she's not doing it. And the Bailey that we know has no recollection of any of this happening. And at one point, it's like she turns and she goes, "Oh, sorry, that wasn't me. That was the role model." And it's like, "Oh my, she actually knows she's doing it." And it's like
she's aware.
That's possible.
So I love that, Jordy. That is good writing, by the way.
That's good writing.
Kind of stole it from Split, but I mean, yeah, we'll take
whether
it.
they do that or not, whoa, that would be such a cool moment in the ring. The like, that wasn't me, right?
Yeah.
But the self-awareness, and you know that, exactly. I got goosebumps. That's how good that is. And I don't usually do that on the show. All right, let's talk about LA Knight and Jey Uso. Jay and Jimmy, all this stuff, Bloodline. We talked Bloodline and Vision yesterday. That was a wild conversation. Wild conversation on the daily, my friends. Did not see that coming in any regard. But here's where I'm at. Is it just me or is Jey Uso acting a little Romanish? Because Jimmy keeps pointing it out. He keeps saying it. It's not only been once, but twice and more times afterwards. Next thing you know, Jey Uso is sort of, we were talking about an in-between type thing with Bailey and like moral compass stuff, right? Jay seems to be more normal Jay last night, but did he get a receipt from LA Knight? Did he get what was coming to him? Did he get I'm not sure. It seemed like LA Knight owed him one, considering what happened last week. But this is an interesting one to break down. Dez, I'm going to go to you for your thoughts on this.
This is interesting. I saw a shout out to Allison Analysis on Wrestling Republic. Ben made a point where he said he gets kind of bored from this storyline with Jey Uso, and I honestly disagree. Like, for me, this is the best thing of Monday Night Raw besides Becky Lynch. This is what I'm looking forward to, right? You can even clip this if you want. This is the most I've been invested in Jey Uso since he was right-hand man, right? When he did the whole yeeting thing, like, that's cool, right? But that's more for a younger audience, right? That's like more for kids, for them to have their moments of wrestling, right? It's still cool, and I'm not bashing it in any way, shape, or form, but it's just not like the character development for me. No, it's like that good guy where he's like, the fan favorite. You're having layers of this Jey Uso, right? Where Roman talking to him didn't seem like a big deal, and now it's starting to carry on each show. And I like that Jey Uso, he's not wanting to help everyone because he did in the past, right? He helped Seth. Seth turned on him. Well, kind of, but Seth had his own vision. Had Sammy, had Cody. He's helping all these people, and now he's like, you know what? I just got to help my family because my family has my back. So all he cares about is Jimmy Uso. Everybody else, he doesn't, maybe Solo, but they haven't really mentioned it, but he doesn't care about anybody else except his own brother. And I love that because now you have Jey Uso who attacked LA Knight last week. And I was like, all right, this is interesting layers. And now this week, people are saying LA Knight's turning heel. I disagree. Now Jey Uso is going to double down and be like, you see why? You see why I didn't trust LA Knight? Because I let him in, I shook his hand, and he stabbed me in the back. So now he has more leverage to tell Jimmy Uso, like, this is why it's just me and you, Uso. Everybody else, they don't matter. And now this could get to a situation where Jay is starting to be like the right-hand man, and Jimmy Uso reluctantly is by Jay's side because he's like, you see what's going on? You see what LA Knight just did? This is why it's just me and you. It's just me and you this entire time. And I love it. Like, I actually really, really do like this. And I'm very, very interested to see where this goes. Because even though Jey Uso isn't the best on the mic, when he's Uso Penitentiary, right-hand man Jey Uso, I'm entertained and I'm all for it. But what do you guys think? You guys are on the same boat. Do you think Jey Uso is entertaining as this or no?
I'm always it's weird. I'm not always in the middle, but I feel in the middle on this one because I'm like unsure, but I do like the idea of Jay sort of, what's funny? I thought about this. Right. Jey Uso on his run to being main event Jey Uso, starting as the right-hand man and everything. Who was the first one that was cool with Sammy? Jay.
Yeah.
Who was the nice one, right? And you have Roman Reigns basically dogging him for everything. And who was that phone call? That has to be Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
That must be Roman Reigns. Because Jay reluctantly has always listened to him.
Yeah. Always.
He's always done it. Reluctantly. So Jay, everyone goes, he's got to win the world title. He's got to win the world title. He wins it. Right? But even that wasn't enough.
Nope.
Even that wasn't enough. That didn't change anything.
And you know why?
He never dealt with what went down familially during the time he was in the bloodline.
Yeah.
Because he always felt overlooked and unheard, not listened to. Now Roman suddenly kind of sees the error of his ways because of Paul Heyman's turn to the Vision. And Jay's sitting here like, well, wait a minute. Where's my apology? I always thought that guy was a rat. Jay said that back in the day, and I think it makes a lot. Fernando here with Jay should be the one that turns heel. Donnie with, oh my goodness, that will seal it when Jay helps Solo beat Sammy to regain the strap. Wow. And then
that's possible.
It'll be Jimmy, not Solo, but yeah, one of those two will get the U.S. title. I think that's fair too.
I want to add one more thing though, really quick.
And then this is interesting too. Jay is back to doing what he does best, and that's being emotionally tortured. Go ahead, Des.
All right. What I was gonna say is, like you said, when Jey Uso was world heavyweight champion, really quick, he helped John Cena. And what happened the very next night? he lost the championship because he didn't help his family. He helped John Cena take care of a situation in which he wasn't involved in. And I feel like this is even more steamed to what he was talking about.
Absolutely. I also love this call from Donnie De Silva. That is liquid gold there, my friend. Roman hands Jay the Ulafalo to rebuild the family in his absence, but Jay goes overboard. Full monster heel, forcing Roman versus Jay at Mania in tribal combat.
I think Jay would have to win for that.
I'm with you on that, Jordy.
I
agree.
think so too. Also, remember, Jay was the only one to pin Roman.
The only reason he lost was it not Jimmy?
No, it was Jay.
No, it was Jay.
No, I'm saying.
Donnie agrees. Yes, Jay wins.
The reason that Jay lost against Roman in the singles match was that not because of Jimmy.
Yeah, it was because of Jimmy.
No, he quit. It was I quit Hell in a Cell.
I'm sure. Because Jimmy came back and he said, "I did it for you because if you became tribal chief, you would have lost your mind." I'm sure it was Jimmy that cost him it.
No, you're right.
No,
2023. He's right.
In that one, but the big one to me, the first one, I think.
Oh no, not the first one. Yeah, the one
first
after.
one
was
was when Jimmy returned and Roman had Jimmy in the choke and Jay in the I Quit match quit.
Yes,
yeah. Okay, Jordy, though, I need to get all of your thoughts on this.
Yeah.
Because it's not just about LA Knight taking out Jey Uso, but it's about the future of this storyline, and it's about the future of Jey Uso. So, I mean, it's been a while since we talked about this, but what are your thoughts?
I actually disagree with you all. I want LA Knight to turn heel. I've wanted
LA
Knight to turn heel for the longest time. If anybody can be bothered going back and looking at dailies, and I've said that we're going to get Yeet versus Yeah for the longest time, and as much I don't disagree with that. All of what you're saying makes sense, guys. I do agree that is a completely viable storyline. But it is also a viable storyline for LA Knight to turn his back on the crowd and turn his back on the WWE in a sense and become a heel because look, Jay got his chance. Jay got the title. Jay had his moment. LA Knight has been in 3 Money in the Bank matches and lost them all. Like he's been one of the highest merch sellers for the longest time. And like he had a somewhat feeble US title run. He hasn't really been given that much. So I almost want to see LA Knight come out and almost do a pipe bomb promo and just be like, it's because of people like Jey Uso why I've not been getting where I should be and I don't care anymore and you're all dummies and like just do what he does best because I love LA Knight as a face and he's a tweener, always a tweener because you never know what he's going to say. But when he's in his bag being a heel, he's so good. He's so good. And I think that right now there's a feeling with Jey Uso that like even people almost feel like he was pushed, so people don't like him because of that. So I think having an LA Knight versus Jay would be very split. I don't think it would be simple as face versus heel. I think it would be a very, very split crowd. And I just think LA Knight needs a heel turn. I wouldn't even be mad if he joined Seth and the gang. Like, if he goes and turns to Seth and he goes, look at what you've done with Braun and Bronson in the short time. Becky is one of the greatest of all time in the women's division. I trusted Triple H and I was wrong. I need your help. I need Paul Heyman's help. I need to get to the top and I need to do it fast. Like,
because of age. Yeah. I like that, Jordy. I like that a lot because of his age. So it could be like, time's running out. I got to join the division. It's the future.
Yeah, exactly.
This is also, though, where I'm a little bit hung up because Donnie brought up a great point here. He said, I'm going to quote Michael Hayes. There's no such thing as a tweener. You have heels and faces and people who suck at their jobs. Here's something interesting about the idea of LA Knight turning heel because I like everything about it and I like everything you presented, Jordy. But my only issue is, and this is probably more of a me problem than anything, like great heels, I find myself loving.
Yeah.
And LA Knight as a heel could be so good at it that he's even more of a babyface in my eyes.
Yeah, people aren't.
That's already
happened. Before, and I'm a little nervous for that. It's a little like we'll never know. The proof will be in the pudding, right? With what happens. that's when we'll get our answer. But I'm my only caveat to that is then how quickly do we have to turn him back face, because he'll be so good as a heel. We want to cheer for him.
Bray Wyatt, it already happened.
Yeah.
I also do
great
think
take,
as
Jordy,
well,
from Fernando.
Thank you, Fernando. I also do think the back on the other side of it, the flip side is if we turn Jay heel, but I think the perfect way to turn Jay heel is to injure Jimmy. Because because then Jimmy comes back as a super face and gets his run. And I just feel like, well, we know at some point in the next 6-7 months that Jimmy's going to take a period of extended leave because Naomi's pregnant, so he's going to take some time off. I feel like they'll time it with that, and then when Jimmy and Naomi return at similar times, they're both going to get huge monster pops, and I think Jimmy deserves that and needs it. And I've never been sure how we get to that point, but for example, I feel like if Jay turns heel, stops saying yeet, and Jimmy comes back and starts yeeting everywhere, that will actually get the crowd behind him to
be really interesting. That is a fascinating theory. I will say this though, my friends, that is going to bring us to the end of today's show. Thank you so much, everybody that tuned in. This is going to be my last show of the week till Sunday, like I said in the intro, but I'll say it in the outro too, just because, I don't know, I like repeating myself occasionally. But at the end of the day, which it is right now for this show, we'll be back the same time, same place tomorrow. That's, of course, noon Pacific, 3 o'clock over on the East Coast. That's 8 o'clock in the UK, and 9 a.m. for my good friends in Hawaii. Thank you, everybody that tuned in the comment section. If you haven't already liked and subscribed, please do. On behalf of me, Clark Taylor, Dez, and Jordy, Mr. Mickey's best pal, all of us here at WR, I hope you have a great rest of your Tuesday. Also, if you have no plans post NXT, check out Off the Air. It's going to be delightful as always. Tuesday Night Delight will be in the building. That's shoddy. You guys have a great rest of your day, and we'll talk to you soon.